Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. Today is episode 8 if I'm not mistaken. You should definitely check out the last episode if you didn't manage to watch it. It was 2 cup finals, very exciting game. Probably the best episode of the series, really, just because of how intense it was. And yeah, just because of what was at stake. But for today, we just got the opening game of the season, which is against Tottenham. Last year we didn't have a great opening game of the season because we were playing Arsenal and we did manage to lose. Speaking of Arsenal, we did lose to them in the Community Shield. Well, there's only one game to play in the Community Shield, but we did lose that on penalties. They got Laurent Koscielny, however you say his name. They got him sent off in the 41st minute, and they've actually managed to bring in Paulo Dybala. Who's an incredible striker, and really just if you're looking for a striker, he is the perfect striker, without a doubt. I mean, just look at him. It says he's a complete forward, and that really is what he is. He's not too much of a target man, but he does have really good stats in terms of strength and heading, so he can do a job for you if you really wanted to. But his best role is definitely the complete forward. I mean, look at that acceleration, agility, just high stats all round, and his finishing's great too. Vision's perfect. You could really play him as a trequartista as well if you wanted. But yeah, enough about that. Since we've gone through the summer, hasn't really been too many changes. I did exactly what I mentioned in the last episode. I brought in Cameron Borthwick-Jackson to play as a backup to Shaw. He's going to be our fullback. He's going to be our left back. He's going to alternate. Actually, I don't think they'll alternate. He'll definitely be playing as a wing back, which he's more than capable of. He can improve in off the ball and dribbling, but he's young enough to improve. Just wanted to give him a bit of a shot here. He is only suited to Sky Bet Championship. It might be because my best judging player ability, Dave Parnaby, who's the head of youth development, he might not have known Cameron much because he was on loan last season, so he might not, really be telling the true current ability. Anyways, we'll give him a shot. Worst comes to worst, we've got plenty of money in the bank. We've got £100 million in the bank, and that's exactly why I recommended to you guys, if you guys remember back in episode 1, why you should shift all your money to the left, invest it in the wage budget, because that comes back to you. Your parent, not your parent, I was going to say parent club, but this is your actual club. They'll always invest back into your budget if you take care of the finances. So we're expected to always be about 70 million and above, no matter what, in the next 3 years. So that's exactly why you should always keep it over here, and they respect that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I managed to keep onto my job and actually turn it from being insecure back into stable. In terms of the transfer history, what's been going on so far this summer, as you can see here, not a single in, and that's because we've brought in Cameron Borthwick-Jackson as well as Adnan Januzaj here. He's going to be playing as a backup to Mata, but because Mata's injured, he will start Januzaj will start for today's game. He's going to be playing as an advanced playmaker. So what we've done is we've moved Lingard to play as a backup to Mkhitaryan on the right. Lingard's much more suited in that role anyways as a winger, and as I mentioned earlier, his advanced playmaker role was only a temporary role. So hopefully we'll see some improved performances from him in the winger role, which also freed up Depay to move back out onto the left. He'll be playing as an inside forward, which he's much more suited to than the winger. He was capable of playing as a winger, but he was much better as an inside forward without a doubt. But yeah, Rashford's actually a better player than Depay apparently in terms of ability, so I'm going to trust him there in the inside forward role. And now that makes 2 left wingers, so I've actually freed up Martial to play as we're going to be playing him as an advanced forward in behind, not in behind, back up to Ibrahimovic. He's more than capable of playing the complete forward role, but really I just sort of move away from that role. And there's a couple of his stats that are a bit low. I think if you play as a complete forward, all of your stats have to be really great, and some of them aren't too great. So we're just going to use his pace and his ability to finish well as an advanced forward. And I think that means that's pretty much it. So yeah, because Cameron Borthwick is playing as a left back, we moved Blind to play as a deep lying playmaker. He's much more suited to that than the wing-back role. So we're shifting players about to play them in more suited roles now that players have moved on. We can free up players to play in better roles than they were playing in last season. So that's moved Herrera to the roaming playmaker role, which he's much more suited to. But he'll be playing as a backup to Paul Pogba, of course. So the midfield, our current best midfield is Carrick and Pogba in the middle. Blind, once he gets more used to the deep line playmaker and defend role, it's because he hasn't played there in a while that he's not perfectly suited to it. I'll show you in the tactics what it says. So yeah, if you just click on players that can play there, it says Pogba, Herrera and Carrick is actually ahead of Blind in terms of his role ability, not just his ability, but his ability to play in that role. And that's because Blind hasn't played there in a while. Once he gets used to it again, he'll definitely jump ahead of Carrick. And yeah, so I think that's all the updates that we've got. So it's going to be Mario Fernandes and Darmian going head-to-head again in the right-back role. Smalling, Jones, Bailey and Blind, we're going to give them another shot in the centre-back positions. Really, in terms of how last season went, Smalling and Jones were our best centre-backs, and that's going to continue this season. Shaw's definitely our best left-back now, and that should help him. Moving Blind away should definitely help Shaw fulfill his potential of being, well, it says leading Premier Division, but he should be able to become a star Premier Division player. And yeah, Herrera is still suspended from last season because of how many yellow cards he got. Incredible stat I showed you guys in the last episode, I think, or possibly, yeah, it was definitely the last episode, not the one before it. And yeah, Ibrahimovic will definitely still lead the line for us. He's still our first choice striker. He's a leading player for most Premier Division sides. And as you can see here, his ability is starting to drop. I think when he came, he was 4 stars and a half. Now he's 3 stars and a half. I'm hoping to see, I know this is a bit weird to say, but I'm hoping to see a bit more of a decline just because of his age so that Anthony Martial can step up and take his place. But for now, he's playing well. He is our main striker. He's got the ability. His physicals are going down. And I'm going to guess that he'll want to retire by the end of this season. So hopefully that happens, just so we can bring through the talent of Rashford as well. I want to move him back to his striker position and play him as an advanced forward too. He's more than capable of that. So yeah, it's just the balance of the team's not too great just now, but hopefully we'll get it right in a season or two's time. We're definitely much more suited this season than we were last season. As you can see here, two heavy losses. We've got Pogba injured for 1 to 5 days with a back strain, and Mata's out for quite a while with a hip injury. So we brought in Andres Pereira, who's going to be back up to Adnan Januzaj temporarily until Mata's back, and then we'll move him back to the under-23s. But yeah, Andres Pereira is a very exciting talent to have as well. Eventually, it should be Januzaj and Pereira going head-to-head for that advanced playmaker role. But I think, in terms of Pereira, actually, no, he's definitely more suited to advanced playmaker. I was going to say he might be an inside forward better, but really his finishing's not up for it. Not up to scratch, basically. Yeah, I think that's all the updates. I'm just going to give you a quick transfer update. As I showed you, no ins at all, but a bunch of loans, and we've let go a couple of the youngsters on free. Really, the main transfers is Morgan Schneiderlin. We finally sold him after he was out on loan last season. We've gotten 28.5 million from Watford, so that's plenty of good money. I'm a fan of Schneiderlin, but unfortunately, he doesn't really suit any of the roles that we're playing with in terms of deep line playmaker or roaming playmaker. He does have the vision for it, but really, we've got better players there. As you can see, he's not, too good as a deep line playmaker. It's just that his stats are better as a central midfielder on defend duty, and we weren't playing that role, so I just sold him off. And there wasn't really any space for him in the squad as well. He wouldn't have gotten much game time. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, unfortunately for him, he's also sort of on the same boat as Schneiderlin in terms of his roles not being suited for us, but he is suited to Premier Division ability, basically. So we've sent him out on loan just for one more season, see how he is when he gets back. He's improving drastically, so we might actually make some space for him in the squad somehow, maybe, change some roles around or something, just because of how good he can be. And the other major loan is Wayne Rooney, right here. As you can see, Rooney's been sent back to Everton. I did try to sell him because he asked to be sold, and then once he realised no one really wanted to buy him, or the teams that were coming in for him weren't really top teams. There was like Aston Villa and some Championship teams, so he wasn't too happy about that. He changed his mind, but I said, you know what, I'm not going to keep a player who keeps changing his mind. And also, I already brought in Januzaj to the squad, and he's going to develop better than Rooney. Rooney's on the decline, so it just made more sense for me to try and get rid of him. But unfortunately, I couldn't sell him off as well, so I decided to send him on loan to Everton. And they were happy to pay 100% of his fees, whether he's playing or not playing. And they actually got him on a rotation squad status. But they're going to be paying all of his fees, so that's great. And I'll try and sell him when we get him back, which is going to be a bit tough because his contract ends in 2019. The other major thing is Bastian Schweinsteiger. He wasn't happy with his playing time, even though he got a decent amount of playing time. So we moved him on. I wasn't happy to sell him to Chelsea, but they were the only ones willing to match his wages as well as his transfer fee. So that's good for us. We got about 200k per week off the wages there, and another 200k from Rooney. So plenty of wage budget room, and that's really what's helped us have the 100 million over here. But yeah, let's just get into today's game against Tottenham. Most of the teams have played. I think we're the last team to play. No, we're not. There's a couple of fixtures. I lied. There's a couple of fixtures later on. We're definitely the last one for the game, though, and Liverpool actually managed to beat Chelsea there. But yeah, I've got a bit of a dilemma here because Herrera and Pogba are our roaming playmakers. So that's going to be a bit of a tough decision. Now, I'm not sure who to bring into that role there. As you can see here, I did bring in a youngster, Neil Oliver, but he's still he's a bit far too young for my liking, basically, and not really suited to the roaming playmaker role. I mean, I could give him a shot, but he is only suited to Sky Bet League 2, so I'm thinking maybe I'm just better off playing Andreas Pereira there. Let's just see if he's suited. He could play there. He's okay. His natural fitness isn't great, which is a bit worrying considering he's a footballer. But I think I'll ask him to do a job there. Blind is definitely not suited to that roaming playmaker role, so can't really play him there either. You know what? I think I'll do it anyways. Let's just play Blind there and see how it goes. I'll put Neil Oliver on the bench as well. But this is the team we're going to be going with today. I think I've gone through most of them already. Yeah, let's see how this first game of the season goes with this new look squad. We've got Ibrahimovic, Mkhitaryan, Januzaj is the one that's coming in, as well as Rashford, who's going to be the first choice. They weren't really first choices last season. And I think Shaw also wasn't a first choice last season. Actually, he was, but then Blind just played too well for me to drop him. But yeah, Jones and Smalling having a chance to form that English strong centre-back pairing there in the central of defence, basically. I don't know why I said that like twice. But yeah, so the centre-back positions are really up for grabs. I think that's the only position that's really up for grabs, as well as Blind and Carrick battling out for the deep-lying playmaker role, but I'm expecting Blind to take over from there. Apparently, the expert thinks it's going to be a draw, but the odds are stacked in Tottenham's favour because they are the home team. They're playing a similar formation as us, really just the same formation they played last season. They brought in Perisic. A lot of the teams have strengthened this season. I'm hoping that the decision for me to bring in some youngsters and not spend any money won't backfire. I'm trying to give some of the players that we already have in the team a chance. I'm hoping now that because they've had a season to gel together, to get to know each other, to get to know me, to get to know the tactics, that hopefully it would go in our favour. So yeah, I'm just hoping that all helps in the end. But really, if we're speaking ability-wise, there's a lot that can be improved in this United team, especially in terms of the centre-back positions. I think only Smalling is a leading player in most of the Premier Division sides. Other than that, Jones, Bailey, and Rojo are all only good centre-backs, so that's not too good. That could be improved, and also maybe the left-back spot, we've already got Shaw, so I don't really want to bring in anyone. Mkhitaryan bringing the ball forward here, though, and he manages to miss, which I think was the first clear-cut chance of the game, and it was. But yeah, in terms of Shaw, I didn't really want to bring in a ready-made player because I want Shaw to develop, so hopefully that decision doesn't backfire either, and Shaw can develop and really put in some great performances this season. And yeah, even Carrick's just a good playmaker for most Premier Division sides. But I'm hoping he retires by the end of the season as well. And Ibrahimovic, I think he nodded it down to Mkhitaryan, and Mkhitaryan does really well to finish that finally, and that's the second clear-cut chance of the game, but our first goal, and that's great. Now we're leading with 30 minutes, and hopefully we can get the 3 points here, get our revenge, and yeah, Ibrahimovic did nod that down, and Mkhitaryan does well there. The angle was pretty not short, the angle was tight, that's the word. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting season this year. Let's see if we can qualify for the Champions League. But I'm hoping to go a step beyond and actually try and compete this time, not like last year, compete for the title. And I'm hoping all the players just do better this season. I'm hoping because we need some serious improvements in the team, and maybe we'll see if my faith has been displaced. But I like to, when I go into a team, I don't like to just replace everyone with new players. I like to try and keep the team as it is as much as possible, and just hope that the team coherence, their faith within each other and the faith within me just improves season by season. So if you keep changing the squad and buying in new players, that's not too helpful. So I try to keep the new players as much as possible. And Mkhitaryan scores a goal and assists the other, with Rashford getting that goal, and that's exactly why he's starting ahead of Depay today. And now we are 2-0 up, and that is going to be that's just great. I think so far Tottenham are an improved side compared to last year in terms of the players they brought in. But I guess we're more of a coherent team, and we're 2-0 up. We wouldn't have. I don't think this would have happened last season. Last season we only beat Tottenham once, and they managed to beat us twice as well, like in the one Premier League game as well as one EFL Cup game. So this is exactly my point about how keeping on players can be a bit helpful, even if they're not really top players, just because they're well known with each other. That's all that matters. Smalling misses a great set piece there, but we're 2-0 up, so I think we'll be okay. And yeah, really, when I bring players into a side, I'm not a fan of bringing in too many. I have and yeah, I'm just not really a fan of bringing in too many players. I could. We've got 100 million. I could bring in as many players as I want, really. But I'd rather not. I'd rather stick to the players we've got. And I just brought on Pereira there for Carrick and moved Blind to the deep-lying playmaker role, just because. And I think that's going to be disappointing from him. I'm actually sure that does well to deal with it there. But really, Blind played a terrible ball from him. Mario Fernandes just loses out. But thankfully, De Gea deals with that poor Kane effort. But really, that just all started from Blind. And it's almost like as if he's instantly proved me wrong for moving him to the deep-lying playmaker role, which he should be. Well, it's going to take him a while to get used to, I guess. But hopefully, we'll see better than that. But yeah, I just brought on Pereira for Carrick just because Carrick's feeling a bit tired there. We're losing the ball out again. There's something going wrong with the players now. I think Tottenham are pressing us, but Pereira's the one who pressed well there, and Ibrahimovic brings the ball forward. Januzaj's got it now. Can he find the pass? He can't. He loses out, but Pereira finds Rashford, who finds Ibrahimovic, and now Pereira. Can you find the man? Does well to find Mario Fernandes, but Perisic is doing well to recover the ball there. And Tottenham are going to bring the ball forward here with Kane, who finds Dele Alli. Is he going to score? No, he doesn't. De Gea pulls out an incredible save, and I think I would have considered that as a clear-cut chance, if I'm honest, but that's only considered a half chance, according to the Football Manager match engine. Anyways, we're 70 minutes now, and I think I should make another substitute here. Januzaj is a bit tired, but unfortunately I've already brought on his backup, so I'm thinking to move Mkhitaryan into that advanced playmaker role and move Memphis Depay into the the winger role, basically the right winger. And Ibrahimovic is looking a bit tired and hasn't had an incredible game. He's assisted, but he's just 6.8, so we could bring on Martial and switch him to that preferred role of mine, which is advanced forward. And let's see how we get on to the game. Hopefully we can use Anthony Martial's pace to hit Tottenham when they're trying to, they're really pressing us now and playing a high line because they're trying to get a goal to put some pressure on us. So hopefully we can just hold together as a team, be a bit solid defensively. Smalling and Jones having great, actually it's all everyone in the back four who are having a great game so far. And it is us with the ball for this highlight. And Pereira is going to find Blind, who does an incredible pass to Mario Fernandes, and Mario Fernandes puts in a great cross for Martial, and that's exactly why I brought him in to score, but unfortunately he's missed it, and it is the fourth clear-cut chance of the game. 7 minutes left now, and hopefully we don't concede, because if we do, I'm going to have to go defensive. I'm not really a fan of that. Martial's bringing the ball forward here, though, and he does incredibly well to dribble through all those players, but unfortunately, it was a really poor shot at Lloris. So even Martial's going to be getting used to that striker role again. He played most of this, not most, I think all of last season in that left wing role. So really, a couple of players have to get used to new roles. But I don't think it'll take much time. They're much more suited to those roles. And we did really well here to score 2 goals as well as not concede. An away game which we were not favourites in. This is a top performance for my team, and I just hope it keeps on. We started really poorly last season and we ended poorly. And this season we started well, so I'm hoping we will end well as well. And that result does put us second in behind Liverpool. But really it's just one game, and most of the games haven't been played yet. Well, actually not most, but a couple of games haven't been played yet. And we did send Tottenham into the relegation zone there. Yeah, all round, just great performance. I really have no clue when we'll be back, because it's still early days. Liverpool game too close to really show you guys. I would like to have a couple of games in between each episode. Probably do the City game here. But let me know in the comments section, because I was wondering whether to start showing you guys a couple of the smaller games, like against teams like Burnley or Swansea or any other team, really, because last season there were a couple of important games against smaller teams that I didn't show you guys. It was important in terms of points, but not because of history or rivalry or anything like that. So for example, we had a chance to go top against the game here against Bournemouth, because we won every Premier Division game we played yet thus far. But Arsenal, I think it was actually Chelsea who did really well. No, it wasn't Chelsea. We beat Chelsea here. So I think it was Arsenal who were doing really well at this point. So if we beat Bournemouth here, we would have put pressure on Arsenal by going above them. But unfortunately, we lost it. So let me know if you guys want to see these more so-called smaller teams. But, the points are just as important in those games as it is against the top teams. I feel like I showed all the top teams last season. And this is the second episode where I show you guys Tottenham again. So I guess, just let me know if you guys are getting bored of it. I'm more of a fan of, I showed you the big games last season, so I'm more of a fan of showing you guys these sort of smaller games this season. I won't just show you random games, but I'll be showing you games where the points are really important, where we could possibly maybe go top or into even a continental position. So yeah, just let me know about that in the comments section, and I'll decide whether to show you guys the Manchester City game, or depending on how these set of fixtures go. I like to have between 5 to 10 games in between each episode. Anyway, like if I show you the Liverpool game, that's just far too soon. You won't really see much progress. But yeah, I think the schedule this season's a bit better compared to last season. We had a bunch of teams right after each other. It was Tottenham, City and Liverpool, and it was all played within 1 week, as well as a couple of Europa League games, and it was just a mess last season. So I'm hoping this season will be a bit better. I'm actually kind of hoping we get knocked out of the Europa Cup early, because I don't want to deal with that fixture congestion again. But we are expected to reach the final. The board expectations have been lowered this season. We're not expected to challenge for the title, and rather they just want us to qualify for the European Championship. So that's a bit better, because last season's expectations were a bit too high, if you ask me. The team weren't completely ready, and the mentality showed. Their weakness was their mentality rather than their ability. And yeah, the EFL Cup, not important as always. Community Shield wasn't important. And they do want me to win, well, not win, they want me to reach the final again as last season. We did win the FA Cup, so maybe we can make that 3 in a row. But yeah, I think that'll be the end of the episode. As always, thank you for watching. And, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe. And yeah, thanks guys, thank you for watching.